6 of the new look We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Cody.
How you doing, everybody?
And I want to give you guys a little peek behind the curtain. So, we have obviously been running things how we have for the past, I think we've been doing this podcast for about 4 months now. And we've enjoyed doing everything that we've done. But we felt like there were things that we could do to make this podcast better. We felt like we needed to up the production value, and we feel like we can. We want this to be a real sport. We're doing this to have fun, but we want to have the feel of a real sports show. And so we are playing with some new things still, and we have been playing with things for quite some time. As you guys know, we've spent a little bit of time away since a little bit before Christmas because we're trying to figure things out, and all of the kinks are not ironed out. We are still playing with stuff, but we wanted to make sure that we debuted this stuff as fast as possible, and as with as good a product as we can. And I feel like we did that for the most part. Obviously, Cody did great with this new logo that you see at the bottom of the screen. We are on a brand new streaming software, which we'll see how long
It's
we're
going to
doing
be the death of Kyle.
And you guys saw the intro that I made. If you guys follow us on our social medias, which if you don't, we have a ticker at the bottom of the screen now. So be sure to be following that. Facebook, We Were Athletes Once podcast. Twitter X at WWAO podcast. All that stuff is going to be keep running. And as you also see, we are sponsored by W Energy. You see Cody's cool little thing. I knocked over my actual water bottle, but I have mine. Logos right there. I just drank mine before we started. And it really has
some grandma's lemonade. It's delicious.
Yeah, Grandma's Lemonade. They have great hydration drinks. I've been a really big fan of the Japanese yuzu, which I have right here. I also tried the Beach and Peach today, and that one was really good too. So if you guys want to upgrade your guys' energy, like we are trying to upgrade this podcast,
Or hydration.
Use code athletes at checkout to get 10% off all your orders. That stuff really does help us out. Again, we are trying what we can to get bigger, to be better, and your guys' support through that and through just watching the content is going to help us out a lot. So thank you guys for that. We're going to talk about football, but first, Cody, do you have anything to say about anything I've talked about?
Kyle said give you a peek behind the curtain. And the peek behind the curtain is we were started to do this 2 hours ago, and we're finally getting recording now. And Kyle about gave up on life. So hopefully it turns out well, because I thought he was going to lose it for a minute.
Oh, I mean, I did lose it. I lost it nonstop for 2 hours. Yeah, we're trying to, again, like I said, we're trying to work some kinks out. We want to still bring you guys short form content as well. And we're trying to find a way to do that. And that's kind of the rough thing about changing stuff around is we have to find what works. Riverside did its job for a while, but I didn't like a lot of things about it. One thing I did really like is it helped us out making clips, which I have a full-time job. Cody has a full-time job and a family. Everyone here with this podcast has either full-time jobs, families, whatever. So we're trying to grow this thing as best we can, and so we spent a lot of time trying to do that. But we'll figure that out as we go. Right now, Cody, we have football to talk about. We are going into week 18 of the NFL season, and this is going to be a little bit different of an episode as we normally do for football, because normally we are, I guess we're recapping the previous week. This week we're looking ahead, because week 18, a lot of stuff is locked in, but also there are a lot of different scenarios that can change throughout the playoffs, or before we get to the playoffs. So I don't know. I guess going off of that, just give me your thoughts on what we can expect throughout this week.
Man, I think the NFL did a great job of getting the games right of when they are. Um, Sunday night football, we've got a game that actually matters. And then the two games on Saturday are going to be awesome because they're the only two games on. And it's who makes the playoffs and who wins a division. So I think the NFL did a good job with that. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I believe the Sunday night game this week is Steelers and Ravens, which we're going to talk
Yep.
about later. That's going to be the last game of the regular season, and that is going to also decide a playoff spot. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, we give a lot of flack to the NFL for a lot of what they do in primetime football games. A lot of sub 500 teams, a lot of teams that we know aren't going to make the playoffs, but this week it gives us a lot to look forward to. So I'm excited for that. And I figured we'll start with what might be the most exciting game to talk about is the Seahawks and the 49ers. And the reason why that's so exciting to talk about is because right now they are both fighting for the number one seed in the NFC. Whoever wins that game is going to be the one seed. If the Seahawks lose, they're going to be the 5 seed. If they win, the 49ers lose, the 49ers are going to fall the 6 seed. But something that is really cool about last week's games is last week ended with the Rams and the Falcons, and that game had a lot of stuff it made a big impact on what we're looking at this week.
Yeah, it did.
What are your thoughts on this game coming
Um, on the game coming up or on that Rams game?
up? On the 49ers and Seahawks game.
I expect this to be an interesting game. I'm excited to see what CMC can do against that Seattle defense because it is so good. And then on the flip side, which version of Sam Darnold do we get? Because last week he looked legit, and a couple weeks prior to that, he looked like he forgot how to play quarterback. So I think it kind of depends on what we see out of it. We also saw Seattle's running backs tag team it and look really good last week. So I think a lot of it comes down to which Sam Darnold do we get, and can those running backs power through it like they have been? Because I don't trust this 49ers defense. I think it's got some weaknesses. I think it's very injured. So I foresee Seattle coming out on top and being that one seed. But the Rams bit themselves hard by losing to the Falcons.
Yeah, one more peek behind the curtain for everyone that just saw what I did. Got some highlights going on the side. We're gonna try and do that. But I'm also hosting the show as I'm also doing the clips for that. So you got a little sneak peek as to what game we're talking about next. But yeah.
And I can't see anything.
Yeah, Cody can't see anything, which is gonna be a fun time. Yeah. The Rams definitely bet themselves because the Rams looked for. I've been saying for a long time that the Rams or the Seahawks are going to be the ones. We've been saying that the
Yep.
Rams or the Seahawks are going to be the one seed, and the only thing the Rams need to do in order to still have that opportunity was win last week. Because if they win last week, all of a sudden their game this week matters. So, and now it doesn't. Now they're either going to be the 5 seed or the 6 seed. So that really sucks for them, but it also again leads to a very exciting scenario where we're looking at a game that will decide the one. Like I said, a game that will decide the one seed. In terms of what I see happening, the biggest issue that the Seahawks have had all season is their offense in general. They've been very inconsistent with their run game. Like you mentioned, Sam Darnold, you don't know which Sam Darnold you're going to get. But the interesting thing about that is the Seahawks' biggest strength has been their defense. And if you look at the Seahawks or the 49ers side of things, their biggest strength has been their offense, specifically Christian McCaffrey. But their biggest issue has been injuries on their defense. So it's kind of going to be what is going to be stronger. I do think at the end of the day, that Seahawks defense is really dangerous, and I think we might be looking at the Seahawks winning that game and being the 1 seed, which, again, I said multiple episodes ago that I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL right now. I would feel a lot better about them if their offense and if their quarterback situation was a little bit better. But when it comes to a defense like that, you can't really do too much in terms of questioning them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about that game.
You know who's not excited about how things have gone down?
Who?
The Philadelphia Eagles, because they're going to get stuck playing the Rams, and I don't see them winning that game.
Yeah, well, we're actually going into talking about them next because not only is the 1 seed up for grabs, the 2 seed is too. The 2 seed is going to be either the Chicago Bears or the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right now the Bears, I believe, have the upper hand.
They do.
Yeah, the Bears have the upper hand. What the Eagles need to have happen is the Bears need to lose to the Lions, and the Eagles need to beat the Commanders. Now, I
mean, all of that's possible.
Yeah, and I think pretty easily the Eagles are going to be able to beat the Commanders. But again, we're talking about a Lions team that we both, I can't stress this enough, we both thought were going to be in the Super Bowl this year. So
picked them to win.
Yeah, and their offense has been atrocious over the past few weeks. But at the end of the day, this is still a very dangerous team. And the Bears are too. But the Bears have had a very big bend, don't break mentality with their defense. How long can you really rely on them being bend, don't break?
I mean, it's a good question. But they've done it excellent. Like, they have been fantastic at giving up a lot of yards, but then holding to very few points. So until they prove otherwise, I think they can keep doing it. But they're also playing for that number 2 spot, because would you rather play Green Bay, who I know you would much rather have this matchup as a Green Bay fan, or would you rather play the Rams? I would rather play Green Bay than St. Louis, than LA. I know it's a tough one. But if you look at Green Bay right now, Love's been cleared from concussion protocol today. He's not going to play week 18. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But when you look at that defense, that secondary is terrible. They did pick up maybe a reinforcement at corner. We'll see how you feel about that. But I would much rather play that defense than playing the Eagles defense by a landslide. That defense is tough, and they're going to get after you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the Packers are the easier team to play right now, mainly because of how injured they are. Jordan Love has had a fairly up and down season, I'd say, and then he's been in concussion protocol over the past 2 weeks. They don't have Micah Parsons. Zach Tom has been in and out of the lineup, who's our second best offensive lineman. Christian Watson has been in and out of the lineup. He's been fairly healthy, I think, since he came back from his ACL injury. But he's also been dealing with little things that take him out of games for a few plays, take him out of games for a drive. You know, it's something that, like, you need to rely on him to be your number 1 receiver, but he's not always in the lineup. And then their defense, without Micah Parsons, has been atrocious. Now, you brought up that they might have brought in a reinforcement. The Cowboys released Trayvon Diggs, and the Packers signed him. I don't know how I feel about that to this day, because Trayvon Diggs has the potential to be the best or worst corner on any team that he plays on, including this Packers team.
But here's the deal. Can he be a worse option than what you already have out there?
Yeah.
Because they're basically bag boys.
I've seen really bad football being played by Trayvon Diggs. I've also
But
seen really good.
you know one thing about him. He is going for the interception every single play. He doesn't care about covering the man. He cares about the interception, which is why, like you said, he can be either awesome or terrible. But with that mentality, your team was already getting burnt anyway. Who freaking cares? You might as well throw out a guy who might get a pick or two. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be worse. So I think it's a positive for him. I'm not a big Trayvon Diggs fan because of that style of play, but he is somebody who's had several interception years, like led the league in interceptions one year. So he has that capability. It's going to be interesting to see what player they get, which version of him they get, and if they can reel him in a little bit.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're paying him $500,000, so it's not.
Win.
Yeah, it's a very low risk, high reward signing. Either way, I think the Eagles' defense is a lot
Very good.
tougher to play, considering both offenses have had issues with consistency. Jalen Hurts has kind of been throwing. Jalen Hurts has been throwing the ball a little bit better over the past few weeks. Saquon Barkley is still Saquon Barkley if his offensive line can do their job
they haven't
in front
been.
of them. Because this has been a historically great offensive line over the past 5-6 years, but ever since Jason Kelce retired, it has gone downhill. Where it was still really good last year, but this year it's been very off.
It's bad. It's not even off. It's bad.
Yeah, but and we're not even supposed to be talking about the Eagles and that. The Rams is the other option, which the Rams, again, they have the MVP right now. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum are a great 1-2 punch. Their defense
Corum's not been playing. He didn't play last week. He got hurt.
Yeah, but I mean,
he should be back.
I haven't seen how serious that injury is. I imagine he won't play Week 18. I imagine they're going to sit a lot of their starters, but that's a tougher team to play than the Packers.
I wouldn't want to play
easily.
them.
So this game what's going to happen with that 2 seed is going to matter a lot, because I don't think the Packers are a rollover game, but I do think you would rather face the Packers than you would the Rams.
100%.
And then the last NFC game we have to talk about is the Bucks and the Panthers. And this one is a very weird one because...
Well, we saw it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we saw it 2 weeks ago. They're playing again Week 18, and whoever wins this division, or whoever wins this game, is set up to win the division. But there is an interesting caveat that, again, the Rams and Falcons game really matters in this. Because the Falcons beat the Rams, if the Bucks beat the Panthers and the Falcons beat the Saints, all 3 of those teams will finish 8-9. And because I'm trying to remember correctly, the Bucks and the Falcons split, the Bucks and the Panthers would split, but the Panthers beat the Falcons in 2 games. It kind of doesn't matter what happens in this game.
The Panthers will win.
The Panthers would win if the Falcons beat the Saints.
Yep.
I would also like to point out that I have been a big supporter of Baker Mayfield over the past few weeks.
And I have not.
I still think they're capable of doing a lot, but they haven't really shown it. They've been awful.
Baker has not been the same since his injury. He has not looked good.
He hasn't looked the same. They've lost
that offense has been bad.
Week, who I believe was starting Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
Still.
They made Quinn Ewers look good.
I don't know if it's going to matter with this whole Falcons caveat, because I don't see a world where the Bucks, who have been playing so poorly over the last half of the season, ends up figuring it out against the Falcons or against the Panthers.
I mean, maybe they do. I several weeks ago told you I have Carolina winning this division, and I've stuck by that. Is there a world where Baker rallies the troops and they play like they're capable? Yeah, absolutely. Is there a world where the Saints beat the Falcons? Yeah, absolutely. This was a question that I sent to you in a text a couple weeks ago. Do we need to talk on the episodes about if Tyler Shuck is actually a decent quarterback, because he's what, like 4-1 in his last 5. He was 4-0 there for a minute. He's starting to look like he might know what he's doing, and he could have a potential future as the Saints starting quarterback. We'll have to see about that. But if Bijan plays like Bijan played last week, there's no way that the Falcons are losing that game because it was dominant. I'm still going to pick Carolina. They've got, they've got 2 ways to win this. They can get some help, or they can outright win it themselves. And Rico Dowdle's been playing well. I still think Bryce Young is solid. He's starting to figure it out too. And every once in a while, Bryce Young just goes off and has a game, and Rico Dowdle goes off and has a game. And I think this Bucs defense is not good like it used to be. So I still think Carolina is going to win this game.
Yeah, I think I'm still not very high on the Panthers. I do think the Bucs, believe it or not, believe it with how the Bucs have been playing over the past few weeks. I think top to bottom, the Bucs have a better roster and have a better team than the Panthers. And this shouldn't even be something that we're talking about this game in week 8.
Oh, no question. The Bucs have a really good roster. It doesn't make any sense of why it's this bad on offense or on defense.
And we've talked about how hot is Todd Bowles' seat. I think I can't see a world where he's coaching this team.
He's fired
because their offense and their defense have both been off. And again, they started the year 5-2 or 6-2 or something like that, and then they just imploded to where now they're looking at being 8-9, having to win this division at 8-9, or potentially even being 7-10.
They're going to be 7-10. I think they started 6-1 or 6-2.
Yeah,
which means they'll finish the season at 1-8, 1-9. Like, yeah, it's bad. He's getting fired for sure. Even like the only way his job is safe is if he wins this game, they get into the playoff and they make a run to the Super Bowl. Like, he has to go that far if he wants to keep his job, I think.
Yeah, so I think the Panthers are going to win this game, but I don't think it is a thing about the Panthers, coming back from or the Panthers like being this underdog team that rose to the occasion and winning the division as much as it is a catastrophic failure from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, 100%. And then I don't think it matters in the first round because they're going to get beat by whoever. Probably the 49ers, based on what I think is going to happen.
I don't know. They play the 5 seed, so I think it'd probably end up being the Rams. Because I do think the Rams are going to end up winning their game on Sunday.
I don't know if it matters.
If they sit their starters, because if the 49ers lose and the Rams win, the Rams are the 5 seed and the 49ers are the 6 seed. But again, if the Rams don't really care about that and they're sitting their starters, then it might not end up mattering. But
yeah, either way, I think they're going to lose that game. Whether it's the 49ers or the Rams.
Yeah, and now I want to get into talking about that late game on Sunday.
Yes,
Steelers,
let's do that.
The Steelers and Ravens right now are in a spot to where I believe they're both 9-8. Whoever wins that game is going to end up winning the division. And I'm really surprised that this is where
the Ravens are 8-8 and the Steelers are 9-7.
Okay, so if the Ravens win, they'll have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we're in this spot because Lamar Jackson has played bad. He didn't even play last week. And I thought last week was. Yeah, he is going to. They've said he is going to play this week. But yeah, I'm surprised we're in the spot, especially because I thought the Steelers were going to clinch it last week by either the Packers beating the Ravens or by the Steelers beating the Browns.
And they failed.
Yeah, they both failed. Or I guess the Ravens succeeded. The Packers failed. The
Nope,
Packers
I
fail.
don't care about
The Packers failing Aaron Rodgers is a tale as old
no.
as time.
That's not the fail. The fail is that you had a chance to clinch against the Browns and you let them beat you and you put up like 6 points. That's what's sad.
Yeah. Talk to me about what you think about this game.
I mean, I think this game comes down to one thing. Which Lamar Jackson do we see? We said it about Sam Darnold, but Lamar Jackson hasn't been himself this year. He's looked bad a lot of the year, even when he's been healthy. I guess it could come down to Derrick Henry having a King Henry type of game like he did a couple weeks ago, last week, I think, when he went off for over 200 rushing yards and was 4 touchdowns and was just a beast. And I think that's how they should play this game. I think they should take the ball out of Lamar's hands, and I think they should let Derrick Henry run the ball because the Steelers' defense hasn't been a Steelers' defense that we're used to seeing. It has been pretty bad, honestly. They gave up a bunch of points to a terrible Jets offense. They put up only like 6 points against Cleveland last week, which I know Cleveland has a great defense and the Ravens do not. But it's a very weird matchup for me because this is a matchup that I expected, like if you were to talk about it at the start of the year, to be a very low scoring, defense heavy game. But these defenses are both bad. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Can Aaron Rodgers work his magic and actually throw the ball? Because that's what they're going to need. And which Lamar are we going to get? Because we haven't seen the running Lamar. We've only seen him throwing it. And I've said it for years. He's not a very good quarterback if he has to just throw the ball. He needs to be using his legs. They need, like, I know it's not college, but this is the perfect team to throw an RPO out there. Like, or run an option. Like, you've got 2 of the best runners that you could want. One's going to plow through you, and one's going to run away from you. And they haven't done that. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of style game Harbaugh wants to run with them, because I think it very well could beat themselves.
Yeah, and it obviously hasn't helped the Steelers defense that TJ Watt's been out for the past few weeks. It does look like he is going to return week 18, which is crazy because didn't he have like a collapsed lung?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, TJ Watt has been the one bright spot for the Steelers defense.
They grew up playing hockey. You knew he was going to play.
He's been the one bright spot for the Steelers defense, and he hasn't been there. I do think it will help out immensely, especially with, again, Lamar not really using his legs as much as he probably should be. And the fact that just because he's playing doesn't mean he's healthy. I don't think Lamar Jackson has been healthy all year. And I don't think week 18 is going to be anything different. I think I have a lot more faith in this Steelers team because their offense has been better, but we also have to think about the fact that they don't have DK Metcalf in this game.
That is a very big problem for them.
So,
which is why I'm picking the Ravens to win this game.
It's tough because I have a lot of faith in, even at 42 years old, I have a lot of faith in Aaron Rodgers. I have a lot more faith in him leading the Steelers offense than I do Lamar leading this Ravens offense right now. Just because
I'm not worried about Lamar leading this Ravens offense. I'm worried, can you hand the ball off to Derrick Henry? That's what I need you to do. And if you can do that successfully and your O-line holds up at all, they're going to win this game. And I think that's what the game plan should be.
I think I might have the Ravens too because, again, their issue has been their defense. The Steelers' issue, that is, has been their defense. And we just saw a week where Derrick Henry ran for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Packers, who, granted, doesn't have the best defense either. But their offense has always been running the ball. It's normally been, are you going to run the ball with Lamar or are you going to run the ball with Derrick Henry, which will then set up the pass. But again, with not running the ball with Lamar as much, they're still running the ball with Derrick Henry. And even though it hasn't really been opening up the pass as much as they would like to have, it's been working.
Yep. I mean, I think you can also, like in this situation, get the ball out to the flats to Zay and just let him try and pick up some yards after catch, because he can make things happen as long as he doesn't take any stupid penalties, because he's really good at that too. Thank you.
Yeah, and our last two scenarios we have to talk about are both involving the AFC South. The first one, in some way, the first one just being who's going to win the AFC South? Because the AFC South has been something that has been up for grabs basically all year. And there's been a lot of different, like, oh, we think the Colts are going to win. The Colts collapse. Oh, well, the Jaguars are going to win. And right now, the Jaguars are still in position to win. But the Houston Texans have really made it close. It's to the point to where the Texans are playing the Colts and the Jaguars are playing the Titans. If
They're both going to win.
they're both going to win, but we do need to talk about the scenario because if the Jaguars end up losing to the Titans and the Texans beat the Colts, the Texans do win this division and they would be the 3 seed.
Ooh, 3 seed, yeah, correct. Because whoever wins the Pitt Ravens game is going to be the 4 seed.
Yeah, so let's help me break down this game a little bit. What do you, or these games, I guess? What do you see happening?
Listen, if I am Jacksonville, I might lose this game. I might sit everybody. Because if you win this game, first round, you're probably getting the Chargers. If you lose this game, first round, you're getting Pittsburgh. I like those odds better. But that's just me. I mean, you might get Denver in the second round instead of New England or Buffalo. But I still might not tank this game, but I might rest my guys, make sure they're not hurt. But if they don't, if everyone plays the way that they should, I don't see either of these teams losing. And I think whoever is the 5 is going to win that matchup. It's crazy to think that we kind of counted out Houston there for a while, pretty early in the season. Stroud went down. They looked pretty terrible. Even before he got hurt, he wasn't looking good. And then when he came back from injury, man, he started lighting up the world. Their offensive line held up. He figured out how to throw the ball again, and that defense is elite. It's up there with Seattle. It might be better than Seattle's.
Yeah, I think again, both teams should end up winning these games, and I do think they're both going to end up trying because I think at the end of the day, winning
You
that
won a
division,
division.
yeah, winning that division matters to both teams. I do think you're right. I do think the loser has an easier matchup, but I don't know, and I don't even know necessarily if the Texans will still end up winning their first round game because the playoffs are so hard and it's just so difficult. This Houston Texans defense has been elite, but it's hard to trust this Texans offense right now when their whole offense is C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins.
Yeah, they need a running game very, very badly. You can't just keep giving it off to, who's it, Woody Marks right now?
I mean, yeah, it's been Woody Marks and I can't remember the guy's name that
Chubb
ran
still
for.
getting carries?
I don't think so. Oh, the guy that ran for Jawar Jordan, is that his name? That got
I
the
don't know.
100. Yeah, there was
Yeah, I
one
know what
running
you're
back that
talking
got a
about.
100-yard game for the Texans this year. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I believe his name's Jawar Jordan. That's not going to get it done, and I hope this is a sign to the Texans front office that, hey, we have like a legit team right now. We have one of the best defenses in the NFL. We have one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL with a legit number one weapon that he can throw to, and a really good receiver depth. It's not even
Yeah.
just Nico Collins. It's really good receiver depth that are all really young.
Yeah, they
We
drafted all
have,
of Iowa State's receiving core, and they were good.
yeah, I hope that's a sign to them that we have to get something
You got to get a running
in the
back.
offensive line. I don't even think it's the,
Yeah, that's true. Your O line is more important.
yeah,
Protect
because
your
Nick,
quarterback. He's your franchise. And that protecting your quarterback in turn is going to help you run the ball. But please also get a running back because I think you still need one. It was Jawar Jordan, by the way, in his
Yeah,
debut.
and he's been fine. Everyone on all these running backs, despite not having an offensive line, have still been, I would say, fine. Like they've been serviceable, but you can't get anything consistent going because I also think that a lot of teams have just been focusing on the pass. Because you don't really have to focus necessarily on the run that much because the offensive line isn't going to get it done. So I hope this is a sign to the Texans that we need to focus in the offseason, whether it's free agency or the draft or whatever, on getting a run game to open up the pass, to make it easier on CJ Stroud, to make sure CJ Stroud doesn't get hit as much as he does. Because we're seeing what can happen uh, with that, what's going on in Cincinnati right now. We don't even know if or where Joe Burrow is going to be playing next year. But yeah, I would take this season as a huge win for the Texans, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, because
100%.
it gives, even though the team didn't play necessarily how you would like them to, again, in terms of that run game, and this is a team that could have been playing a lot better, you also see what this team around this run game and this offensive line has been doing and still got you to the playoffs.
Yeah,
So it's an
best.
easy fix.
Yeah, I think best case scenario for Houston, outside of going on a run and winning the whole thing, is quick exit where in the first round CJ Stroud is running for his life and getting sacked a bunch. I know it sounds terrible, but if that happens, ownership has no other choice but to go out and invest draft capital and dollars in free agency to an offensive line.
They have a choice. The choice is turning into the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
Because
well, let's see how that's
Joe
going for the
Burrow got
Bengals.
sacked 7 or 8 times a game in that playoff run. They still got to
And
the Super
you
Bowl.
hope that the ownership of Houston isn't as stupid as Cincinnati's.
Is it better off for the Texans to be a first round exit compared to the AFC, like going to the AFC Championship game or going to the Super Bowl?
I said outside of winning, like you want them to win, but if they're going to lose, you want Stroud running for his life and not getting hurt, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they get the message because this has the potential to be like a legit great team going forward to where it's going to make the Jaguars sweat and it's going to make the Colts sweat or whoever else is going to be competing in this division for the next few years. We're not going to. The Titans are there too, but you know.
Hey, Cam Ward's looked decent lately.
Yeah, but I mean, you need more than.
Well, 100%, but he's started to show that he's okay.
And then our last scenario, I guess that we need to talk about, is this situation with the 1 seed in the AFC. Because, nope.
I don't think I just don't think that's a situation that matters.
Yeah, it should matter.
I think there's
more.
another scenario that matters more. Is the
What's that?
the 6-7 seed, or potentially even the 5. The Bills have a chance to move all the way up to the 5, I believe. They need help. They need Houston and LA to lose, and they need to win. But there's a chance that the Bills could move from 7 up to 5, or at least 6. Like the AFC has a lot to play for still.
Yeah, I mean the thing with this 1 seed is it should be a very interesting conversation because the Broncos are playing the Chargers, but the Chargers are sitting their whole team basically. So that basically locks the Broncos into that 1 seed, unless they somehow lose to their second stringers.
I mean, it's possible.
What would need to happen for the Patriots to be the 1 seed is the Patriots need to beat the Dolphins and the Chargers need to beat the Broncos. And then the Jags also have a shot, but they would need both the Patriots and the Broncos to lose. I wish this was something that we could talk really in depth about because the this would be a very fun storyline uh, for who's going to be the one seed and who's going to get that first round bye. But it seems like the Chargers are just going to give it to the Broncos.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I'm trying to look at game times real quick to see if so Chargers Broncos 325, Dolphins Patriots 325, Bills Jets 325. So yeah, they're all going to be going on at the same time.
Yeah, and then again, I don't know if it even matters all that much for the 6-7 seed because the 5-6 seed I guess it would be because the Bills are playing the Jets and they're going to end up winning, but the Texans are also playing the Colts.
Yeah, but does that drop the Chargers down to the 7?
I don't have in front of me what the.
I feel like that might drop the Chargers to 7 and the Bills move up to the 6.
I mean, yeah, but they're not going to go up to the 5 seed.
No, because the Texans are going to win that game.
That would put the uh, it would put the Chargers at 11-6 and the Bills at 12-5. So yeah, it would be the 6 seed, but also does that matter?
Depends if who they'd rather play.
I think the Bills. Well, yeah, I guess it does matter because whoever is the 7 seed, but you almost want to be the 7 seed because
Do you?
no, you don't. You want to be. You do want to be the 6 seed. That's true.
Because you
The
don't want to play the
Jaguars are much
Patriots
better.
in the
The
first round.
Jaguars are a much better draw than the Patriots. So yeah, I'll give you that, but it's I don't know.
That's why I
think
don't think it's smart for the Chargers to sit their team unless they are super confident that they can beat the Patriots.
that's just what I've heard is that they would rather sit their starters and have that extra week than
That's the dumbest thing. Like we we don't do a lot of college football, and I'm going to bring it up just quickly. Um, we have seen now that the first 3 games of the quarterfinals are over, all 3 teams, or 2 of the 3 teams that have won, were teams that did not rest. That extra week screwed those teams. And coming into this year, the 1 through 4 seeds were 0-4 with that extra week. And until the very last game where Indiana just beat the brakes off of Alabama, they were 0-6 going into that game. So I am not a fan of the extra rest. I think you see this in baseball too, that the team that gets the first round bye in the playoffs, they come out rusty and they don't look as good. They're not as sharp. Um, and you can tell that they had off weeks. So I'm not a huge fan of the extra rest. Now, if you've got like major injuries, yeah, rest them. But resting everybody, I'm not in support of that.
so I don't know. I'm looking at the report now, and it says Justin Herbert will not be playing.
Well, that's all that matters.
They have Trey Lance starting next week.
Which I get, I guess I get because he has been dealing with some injury issues off and on
Yeah,
recently.
the quote from Harbaugh is he has bruises that needed to heal,
Yeah.
which bruises is a broken hand, but
He might have some rib issues too.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. From what it seems, that Khalil Mack and Keenan Allen may also sit, but
They're old.
yeah, they might sit the older starters, but maybe they don't
Okay.
sit all the actual starters, which that could make a difference.
I don't think it will. You're not starting your quarterback against one of the best few defenses in the NFL. I think Denver's got this locked up.
Cody, do we have anything else we need to talk about in this episode?
Um, uh, Can we talk about how the Giants bit themselves yet again for the battle of the first overall draft pick, and Jackson Dart has no care in the world about his body or draft pick, blasting into the end zone, getting destroyed as he did it. Love him, by the way. Can't wait until him and the Craniator are reunited. It's freaking amazing. I don't like the Giants, but man, do they make me want to root for the Giants.
Yeah, it's
It's
honestly,
multiple years in a row they've done this.
I think the 1C or the number 1 overall pick matters more to the Raiders though, because the Raiders
Oh,
need a quarterback.
100%. They're gonna take Mendoza. After
Yeah,
how he played today, they're taking Mendoza.
The Raiders need a quarterback. The Giants don't, and so they're going to draft different positions anyway. The only way that could really matter in the
You could
grand
have
scheme
used
of
it
things
as
for the
trade
Giants,
capital.
yeah, is they could
You
have
would
traded
100% be getting extra picks.
But
also, have you looked how bad the bottom of the NFL is?
I try not to. I know the Raiders are 2-14 right now, and then there's like 3 or 4 3-13 teams.
Oh, there's more than that.
Is there more than that?
So the Giants, the Jets, the Titans, the Cardinals are all 3-13. And then the Commanders, the Browns are both 4-12. So you've got 7 teams that are 4-12 or worse. That's bad. And then after that, the Saints and the Bengals and the Chiefs are all 6-10. There's a world where the Chiefs pick 8th in this draft. That's insane to me. Come on home, Jeremiah Love.
Do you want them to draft him 8th overall?
I sure don't, but they need to. I mean, we're not going to turn this into a draft one. We'll talk about the draft later.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like them to take a D end, D tackle, or corner, but
or even trade down and draft him in the late first round.
I don't think you can. I think at 14-ish is going to be where the Cowboys are, and Jerry's for sure going to draft him. He likes his big shiny toys.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they need a running back.
We'll see. We'll talk about, like I said, like you said, we'll talk about the draft as the draft gets closer, after the season ends, which we're not that far away. It is.
No.
Today is January 1st. So
Welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
We're about 3.5 months away from the draft. Close to 4 months, I guess. So we got some time with that. We still have to finish off the college football playoff. We still have to finish off the NFL playoffs to see where the bottom of the draft is going to lie. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's not going to be a shortage of content over the next couple months. So,
and we may or may not have plans to bring on an NFL player.
We haven't reached out to him yet, but that's the goal. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end this episode. I want to say this was a quicker one, but I also don't have a time in front of me. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for bearing through all of these changes that we're trying to make. For all we know, these might last a very short amount of time, or this could be our podcast going forward. Obviously, we have some kinks to work out still, but we are trying to make this as best quality as we can. So we appreciate your guys' patience and support. If you like what we're doing, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. All of our socials, like I said, have been scrolling through the bottom of this episode. So please be sure to follow us on those. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, be sure to download it, like our podcast, give us a good review, do all that stuff. And again, please be sure to use code ATHLETES at checkout at W Energy for 10% off all of your orders. Because again, that does help us out a ton.
And it's good.
Yeah, so they sent me about 4 different flavors, and I'm a fan of all of them. This is the Tiger's Blood right here. taste just like you would expect some tiger's blood to taste. Like if you've ever had a tiger's blood snow cone
It
or
tastes
something
like
like
what
that.
tiger's blood tastes like. Dang,
Well, like you know, the
savage.
as the coconut, the watermelon, the strawberry. Uh, it's a really good flavor. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this Japanese yuzu stuff that Cody's been
I know
asking
you
to
got to
try.
bring that to me.
Cody's been asking to try for the last couple weeks, and I just keep forgetting it at home. Forgetting it at home.
Yeah, I know. He's
Um,
keeping it for himself.
and then I've got a couple other ones. The Beach and Peach. Again, I tried for the first time today, and it's awesome. And the I think it's the universe explosion or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the other one is called. Oh, here it is. The Galaxy Grenade,
Oh, that one sounded good.
which is watermelon and guava and lime. All of these flavors are
You can
amazing,
bring me that
and
too.
I only have three of those, or two, I guess now. Yeah, all these flavors are amazing, and I can tell a difference when I drink it versus when I don't. So again, please be sure to use code athletes at checkout. You get 10% off your order. It helps us out. Um, it and it will solve a lot of our problems if enough people if enough people get them. But yeah, we're gonna see you guys later. Hopefully, there's a lot more answers to what things look like in the next few weeks. Again, we're gonna work out some kinks. We're gonna see what we have going, and also sorry if our audio is a little weird. I'm still trying to get the mixing down on this, and I can't hear us until afterwards. So we're going blind and seeing what happens. But uh, again, that's why your support means the world to us, because at some point, Cody hates when I say this. At some point, we're going to get better at this. And that is when everything is going to pay off. So, again, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.